Hey John, I just thought I'd make a short video for you that would maybe help you in your quest to learn to play the guitar. I'll just show you a couple things on the internet and whatnot, some resources. We'll start with that guitar tab thing because actually the name is ultimate-guitar.com. So let's get into the web here. Let me show you some stuff. There's actually several websites out there where you can get the guitar tabs. Like if you just do a search for guitar tabs, you'll see there's a lot out here. I used to use Horty.com, but it turned to crap really. And so then Ultimate Guitar Tabs has become my de facto one to use. They've got over 1 million tabs, and it is ultimate-guitar.com. And so, like, if you search for a song, and we'll do Free Fallin'. So I search for that, and you'll notice that it's got official, pro, and then it just has chords tabs here. So the official and the pro ones, those require a subscription to the site. I did try a month of that, and it didn't really provide me anything that was worth spending the money for it. So you can just use these user created ones. And if you notice, the ones with the higher numbers typically tend to be better quality ones. So like if we try this one here, it's got over 3,000, I guess that's likes or something. But if you just click on it, it brings up, it shows you the different chords that are used. Now I said it had 3 chords. The version I got off of Chordy.com years ago only had 3 chords, and I'm going to talk about that later. But this one has more chords to it, but it shows you for each one what they are, where you need to put your fingers on which frets and all that, which string. And then here it shows you the lyrics with the chord changes over the top. This does say capo on 3rd fret. When I did it, I never used a capo, but once again, I did a different version. I'm going to go back to this and see if there's a, that one seemed pretty complex, didn't it? So let's see if one of these other ones are a little less complex, fewer chords. Here we go. Yeah. This one, and also you notice you can change it from guitar to ukulele to piano. So this one only has 4 chords. The version I did was just a D, D sus, and an A sus4. It was just those 3 chords. Some of them will show you the strumming pattern, but a lot of them just don't have a strumming pattern at all, and you have to figure that out yourself, or you go onto YouTube and you'll find a lesson on YouTube on how to do that. So the next thing is you want to print this, right? So hey, let's download the PDF so we can print it. No, wrong. To do that, you have to have the pro access, which means you got to pay them money each month. So what I do is I click this edit, make personal edits, brings up this edit box, and then I just right mouse click, select all, and I copy this. And then I go to NeoOffice, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Office for Mac. And I create a new text document. I paste that in there, and there I've got it. Now I will typically go in and edit this. One of the things to note here, get out of this, if you compare what I pasted into this document versus the tab here, it doesn't exactly match up. So she's a good girl. They've got the A over good instead of over here. It's got shifted. So I will put these side by side and fix those alignments. I also put a space between each line and I highlight the chords. Here you'll see that they've got the verse, and every time you're supposed to do the verse, they repeat it. So I just do the verse one time, and I will say, inverse, and then anytime it says verse, I just say repeat verse. And then I delete this. I do that because otherwise sometimes after putting the spaces in between the lines, you wind up with more than 2 pages. And if you wind up with more than 2 pages, that can be problematic when you're putting it into books, because then you, in the middle of the song, you have to turn the page, and you don't want to have to do that. Notice this one also says capo 8th fret, which I don't put a capo. What I do, anytime there's a song that says capo on a certain fret, I will play it with where they're suggesting the capo, and then I'll play it without a capo and determine which one sounds more true to the song to me or just sounds better, and I go with that. Now, and sometimes it can be too that, like here it says capo 8th fret. I mean, you might try 8th fret and you're saying, well, I don't think that's quite right. Try the 6th fret, or you can try different frets to put the capo on, which if you don't know what a capo is, I'll show you that later as well. Now, so this one here, like I said, this is one I used to use, and it's nice because, here if I bring up a song like here, Brown Eyed Girl, I can just print it, right? I don't have to worry about anything, but I used to not do that even when I used this because I like to have a space. It's easier for me to, because when you're trying to read the chord chart here and play the guitar and sing all at once, you can lose your place. And when this is all crunched together like that, I just found it very hard. So I always like to edit it and mark it up the way I like. One more site, it's really, I've used this and I've actually paid for a year subscription of this. It's only $24 for a year subscription. So, and I started doing it because when there were songs that I would find that I wanted to play and I couldn't find the guitar tabs for it, I found this site, and you can take any song, and if you've got the subscription, I don't have the subscription anymore, but you can upload whatever song you want. So if you've got the digital song that you're wanting to learn how to play, you can upload it, and then it'll give you this. It'll tell you, you hit play here, and it shows you where the chord changes are. Now, to actually get this where you've got it in a document, it's a little bit of a pain because you've got to have all the words typed into a document, then start putting the chords above the words in the right place. So it takes a little bit of time. But another nice thing about this, you'll see how while this is not necessarily a really hard chord to do, it's because it's only 3 strings you're covering, but if let's say it could be something more difficult. They got this nice little feature called Simplify Chords. Click that baby on and see then it's changed that into a simple D chord. So that's kind of a nice feature of it. So that's something, if once you get into it, if you start running into some things where it's like, yeah, this song, but so it's too many chords or too complex, or you can't find the chord tabs, this is very useful and it's inexpensive. Then the other thing is, once you get a chord guitar tab that you're wanting to work on, and let's say you just start trying to play in it and you're struggling, you can't figure out the strumming pattern or something. You can always go to YouTube. I guarantee you, I don't think I've ever went to YouTube and not been able to find a guitar lesson on a given song. So you put in the name of the song, guitar lesson, and you'll find several of them. Now, if you start using YouTube for that purpose, you're going to find that there's going to be some people you see over and over, and there's going to be ones you like better than others. I actually like these 2 guys right here, these first 2 that pop up. Now, this is some kind of advertisement here, but this is just guys. So you like, if we look at this guy's, he usually starts out, Yeah, he'll play some of the song, but then he'll get into actually telling you, okay, here's the chords you have to play in this order. Here's the strumming pattern and all this stuff. So he's pretty good. He's pretty funny too. And then this guy here too, Justin Guitar. He's good. I like him too. So I'm going to stop with the web at this point and show you a couple of other things, and then I think you'll be good to go for just kind of going off and trying some stuff. All right. Okay, back out of the web. So just I don't have a lot more to go tell you about, really. I don't think. Um, I know I was going to show you a capo. So there it is. It's a capo, and basically what it does, you put it on. It says capo 3. You're going to put it on the third, just above the third fret, and it basically changes the key of the chord you're playing. So you know, if you listen to a G, that sounds a lot different than a regular G, right? So it changes it that way. And sometimes that helps with, sometimes people use capos to make it so you can play easier chords than what the original song was. In some cases, the original song, the artist did play it on, like, using a capo. Real quick, I'm going to show you how that Free Fallin' song, the version I had, 3 chords, and it sounded fine. So that's pretty cool. One other thing I wanted to show you. I wouldn't recommend you go get one of these. I bought one. I had watched a video on YouTube when I was first learning, and they recommended, beginners get one of these, and that's guitar tab chords. Look at that. That many chords, huh? 2,100 chords. It's a lot, right? Well, honestly, you're gonna use, if you know 5 chords, G, D, E, A minor, A. I mean, you can know a handful of chords and you can play thousands of songs. So many songs they don't have, they're not all that complex, right? But the reason there are so many in this is because what it is, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but whatever chord there is, it'll show you, like here, if you look at this F7 plus, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways to play that same chord. So one may be easier for you than another, and that's where this comes in handy. I've used it a few times, but for the most part, I don't use it. I don't. It's been a handful of times that I've used it, but I'm real big on spending money on things I never use again. Okay, you may not be that way, but I am. Okay, one other thing I'm going to share with you, and then you need to go out there and just try some stuff. And also, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share that one video that I mentioned I saw when you were watching the lesson by Marty. It had one of my videos listed on the right side, 4th down. It's like, well, it looks a little weird. I had a wig on, I had a hat on, because I was trying to dress up like the singer of Four Non Blondes. So not only I put music videos out there, but I try to make them fun. Okay, uh, bar chords. So like on a bar chord, I can't do one. All right, so that's what I'm going to tell you. You might be able to do it, especially on an electric. It's easier. So like usually, what you have to do is you got a bar. One finger has to go cover all the chords, and then the other fingers have got to do other covers. Right? I can't do it. All right, so as an example of B minor, you've got to cover all these strings with that finger, and then you've got to cover those two, with some other finger. So the way to do that without barring is instead of playing all 6 strings, you only cover the strings on the bottom 4 strings that you need to cover, and you only strum those bottom 4 strings. So in this case, I put my index finger on the bottom string, middle finger on the second string, and my ring finger on the third string. And it sounds good enough, close enough, good enough, because it's kind of like a portion of the B minor chord, if you will. You're not strumming the top 2 strings, and you're not covering that fourth string from the bottom, but it sounds pretty close. So that's how you get away with avoiding playing bar chords if you can't do it, and it's hard to do. I know people that are a lot better guitar players than me, and they can't do bar chords. So if you find that to be the case, just remember, cheat. Okay? Talk to you later, buddy.